Police propaganda videos. Sorry, my voice is gone because I was yelling a lot. Now you notice that these police brutality videos, these are made by actual people who just happen to be present. Thank goodness for those people being present and recording those videos, or those police would continue to get away with it. How many times did they get away with it repeatedly as a group, in many cases, before they were recorded by someone who gave a shit? But you notice they don't change the view 10 different times. It's not an actor reading a script. You don't have 10 different cameras and they're going to jump from this one to this one. Like you got a full production unit there. Now let's start off with this one right here. It says, racist cop accidentally pulls over black police captain. Then this happens. This is the difference between what the police do and how they abuse the media to try to cover up their wrongdoings. Is that a black man recording it real life? No, they changed camera angles. Already, we can tell it's bullshit. You can already tell it's bullshit. They're changing camera angles in front of the vehicle. Stop, we'll look from the side. It's fiction. This goddamn thing is fucking fiction. They're trying to use fiction as a tool to repair the damage to the trust that the American people have. That trust is gone for a reason. These people aren't orchestrating and coordinating and spending millions of your tax dollars to try to paint the police as a bad guy. They're showing you real life situations where the police are the bad guys nationwide. Like I said, but the police, they're not used to telling the truth. Most of them wouldn't know the truth. It'd fucking hit them in the goddamn head. The difference between predators getting away with it and thinking twice is whether or not you're there. Say a rapist is walking down the alley and he's looking for a victim. And he sees some pretty little girl all by herself. Or maybe he's looking for a boy, you never know. But let's say there's two of them. Well, how that rapist is probably going to think twice. What if that child has got a video camera playing at that point in time? Or maybe it's an adult. You never know. You never know what type a rapist is into. Some of these mass murderers are into blondes, some of them into brunettes. A lot of them, they're into raping people that look like their ex. I mean, look at the obsession level with O.J. Simpson. After his wife left him, he wanted to go find a replacement to look just like her. It's okay though, because he's rich. And then you make excuses for it. It's just gross. Changing camera angles all over.
Good morning, officer. Where are you going? I'm actually on my way to work. Haven't seen you out here before. You got friends you're visiting over here? I just moved into the state.
Do police really act like that? Yes. Not just racist cops. This is standard police protocol for the disabled or the homeless if they're alone. Police, just like any other predator, is going to pick a victim who is alone. A victim that nobody is going to listen to. That police officer who'd been on the force for 27 years and then got himself busted because he raped a woman on the hood of his vehicle. This is a woman who he could have called mentally ill and literally gotten away with it had he not gotten lazy. If he had just turned off his fucking cameras when he raped her, he would have gotten away with it. Meanwhile, he's got a gun. He's got the position of authority to intimidate you into getting into his vehicle. Or in this particular case, it's a courtesy ride. He's supposed to be giving this woman a ride from the hospital to her home, and he raped her. This is how cops treat you when you try to turn in a police officer. As soon as you start talking, they start snapping at you and interrupting you and making fucking excuses and trying to justify any excuse that they can to shut you up and get you the fuck out of there. Now, when it results in dead people, you end up with the situation I'm in. Now, this entire thing is fucking fiction. See, the stuff that people hate the cops for is stuff that the cops are actually doing. Including wasting your money. This is your money. Your money that they're wasting to pretend. There's that one where the cop pulls over and gives that homeless dude the Snickers. Same goddamn thing. 6 different fucking angles. Or what about the cop who brings that family those Christmas toys? And when they open the door, there's a cameraman standing behind this woman who is about to act surprised when she opens the door and sees a police officer with toys. How are you gonna act surprised when you already got a goddamn cameraman in your house? Oh yeah, but it's fiction. It's probably not even her house. 3 different camera angles on that one. But we'll continue with this.
You just moved to the neighborhood. Yes. I haven't seen your kind in here before. Hold on. Excuse me. What do you mean, my kind? You know what? I'm gonna have you step out of the vehicle. For what? Is that?
Now hold on a second. Now, what is it that we're seeing in all of these police situations? What are we seeing? That's right, we are seeing police act like this. We are seeing police bully people for no fucking reason. You people, not just towards the blacks. It is more prevalent towards the disabled and the homeless than anybody else. The only people who have it worse than us are children in the system. Children in the system have it worse than children being raped at home. Because those children who are being raped at home have some hope that maybe somebody might listen to them. But when you're locked up, that hope is gone. That light is diminished. Your fucking twinkle, your spark goes out.
I haven't done anything. Am I being detained? Am I being arrested? Get out of the vehicle. That's not law. I am the law. Cooper, what?
All right, time out. This is the most unrealistic part of it. I want you guys to take a look at the situation with me and the way that those officers treated me. Not one officer even tried to do the right thing. Not one of these officers present ever told these other officers, hey, what you're doing is wrong. I was getting treated like this. Didn't none of them cops tell those fucking cops who were assaulting me or threatening me or harassing me or intimidating me? Not one of them other cops said, hey man, you should stop. Now in the jails, one of the guards did tell Officer McRae that she needed to leave my cell. That's the closest I got. Officer McRae did leave my cell. And she came back with 2 goons. And they made fun of me while they took me to the goddamn drunk tank. The padded room with no fucking toilet. And they take away your clothes. And they point a goddamn taser at you and pretend like you're the fucking bad guy. Meanwhile, they're escorting me because Officer McRae is pretending that I am trying to kill myself. Why? To retaliate against me for telling on her and writing a written report that I still have to this day, by the way. Because I wrote a written report about her and 2 of her fellow officers the night before. And she came into that room so antagonistic and hateful. And that other officer had to tell her to leave the fucking room. And she came back with 2 dudes to escort me to this fucking monstrosity of a goddamn cage. And they made fun of me the whole way there. If they're taking me there because they're concerned that I might commit suicide, why did they make fun of me the entire way there? Meanwhile, I need to get someone who is going to act as my guardian in order to do anything, including get a lawyer, including get the cops to do their jobs. When you are called mentally ill, you have to have a guardian for your protection because you are too easy to victimize. Not all of us are lucky enough for the cops to forget to turn off their body cameras when they commit felonies against you. That officer just plain and simple forgot. How many rapist officers didn't forget? How many times did that man get away with doing that over and over and over again because he didn't forget to turn off the camera? And that's what happens when you get to turn off the camera. You get to abuse your position. There are no checks and balances for the police. There are no safety measures in place to protect the victims. All of of these government programs that they tell you are supposed to help you. You look at my channel, you look back through these thousands of videos, you will see many, many, many situations where these police are literally going out of their way to prove me right. Officer Waylon Lolatai, he was given a free pass. All of those cops, 8 different counties worth of police officers, broke the law to protect Waylon Lolatai. They gave him a free fucking pass. They committed felonies in 8 different counties to give that man a free fucking pass. And what did he do with it? He let it go to his head. And he went on an abuse fucking spree right through the homeless community. These predators were not allowed to go free because I wasn't trying. These predators were allowed to go free because they abused their positions of power as a group. They worked together and coordinated. That makes it an organized crime. And that means that the police in the state of Colorado are, yes, indeed, guilty of gang stalking me the same as the FBI. Who do you go to when your conspirators are part of organizations that are protected when they commit felonies? The law says it's illegal, but who gives a fuck about the law when you can turn off your body camera and rape people at will? And get away with it because you have that badge. People don't trust the fucking cops for a reason. Because we know that the videos that we see aren't the only instances of this happening. These are the instances where we're lucky enough to get to see the camera footage. That man who was murdered by police down there in Texas and Dallas, a news station fought for 2 goddamn years to get that fucking footage. They had to fight tooth and fucking nail. These police were allowed to walk. Just like the police who killed Thomas Kelly. You don't care about him, though, because he's white. You don't care about him, though, because he's homeless. You don't care about him, though, because he's schizophrenic. He was begging for help, and those officers were making fun of him while beating him to fucking death, and they all walked free. Here's the thing, in Nazi Germany, the Germans themselves could have put a stop to Nazi Germany by not being cowards. You say I can't compare Nazi Germany to the United States. And I say to you, the United States is modeled after Nazi Germany. Of course, we've got it a little bit more refined, don't we? Slaves are worth more money if you don't work them to death. You pick homeless people for a reason. Because nobody cares about them and you fucking know it. And you pretend that's not the case. And you make those excuses. Well, you need to just get a job. You need to just this. You need to just that. You tell me about how I owe you. Because your dad, who lives in a very cush position compared to me, has his own place. And you tell me about what a piece of shit that I am because your dad is disabled and lives in his fucking chair and drinks alcohol all fucking day. You tell me that I am ungrateful because your dad's like that. I didn't make your dad like that. Between drowning his issues out in the bottom of a bottle or soldiering the fuck up and doing something about it, your dad's a bitch. It's not my fault that your dad's a bitch. It's not my fault that your dad got duped by the government. It's not my fault that your dad got injured trying to murder foreign kids. It's not my fault that he was dumb enough to believe the goddamn rhetoric before he went over there. Oh yeah, by the way, I know this woman and her father in person. Flamey typed, LOL, how the hell do you have guns? Dude, they're not real guns. They're not real. You notice the bright orange tips. They're bright orange tips. Why are they bright orange tips? I've actually, on this channel, just in the last week or two, probably opened up each and every one of those. Probably a good, I don't know, at least half a dozen times to show the internal workings, to show that they're not real firearms, because people fucking flip their shit. This blue one right here, it fires fucking Nerf darts. If you shoot a fucking mouse with a Nerf dart, that mouse is gonna come beat the shit out of you. But you notice that the police are wasting your money to try to paint a narrative. That's what they're selling here, is a narrative. They have to sell fiction. Now, at the very beginning, the way that that officer is acting, yes, that's not only illegal and immoral, but it is commonplace, especially if you're somebody nobody cares about, like a homeless person or a prostitute. Blamey type, LOL, no shit, haha, dude, you need to relax. I am pretty relaxed right now. I'm not screaming at the top of my lungs at you, dumbass. What, you want to pretend that I'm screaming at you now? Is that what you're going to do, Flamey? Are you one of those people who's here to troll me? Are you one of those people here to harass me? Oh, you type ha 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 ha. And then he says, fuck, I love Americans. Why? Most Americans aren't like me. Most Americans are cowards. Most Americans are too afraid of their own goddamn shadow, let alone gonna fucking stand up to the government. But they sure fucking talk about it, don't they? Their Second Amendment rights. Our First Amendment's fucking gone. Our Second Amendment does not have a reason to exist. The Second Amendment was created to defend and protect the First Amendment. We do not have the First Amendment. So we need to get rid of all the guns, or we need the First Amendment back. I volunteer that we get the First Amendment back. I am not going to get the First Amendment back for us. You have to stop being a pussy. You have to stop drinking your fucking life away and blaming everybody else for it. You need to stop feeling sorry for yourself and getting all fucked up on heroin and meth. You need to stop feeling sorry for yourself and stalking Tobe Smith because you didn't get what you wanted. Now let's see what Flamey's typing here. He types, funny? Well, now they have Biden. Creepy, touchy Biden. Biden will take the guns. Dude, calm down. Holy shit. See, now this dude's pretending and playing victim again. I'm apparently not calm enough. I'm not allowed to have emotions. That's what this dude is telling me. I'm not allowed to speak with emotion. I have to talk like this. I have to speak like I'm a droll robot from a 1970s movie. Danger, 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 Will Robinson. Amy types, nah, brah. Nah, brah. Nah, brah. Y'all idiots who keep telling me to shut up. Telling me just to take it. Telling me just to let it go. Tell you what, for hundreds of years after the Southerners lied out their asses about the Constitution and about slavery, people finally got off their ass to do something about it. We made an agreement with the South. We agreed that while we're fighting the Revolutionary War, Flamey types, you know you can't fight the government. They have drones and shit. I can't, but we can. We the people. That's the problem with having no constitution, is that we the people don't mean shit anymore. You can fight the government though. Not only that, you can do it without killing. That's not a joke. Instead of making excuses, do something about it. Blamey types, we never meant shit, dude. Well, fucking duh. Every great society is built on the backs of slaves. There are no exceptions. None. Not one. You say the rich elites won't allow it? There are not enough elites to do anything about it. The rich elites have to depend on poor people to do their shit for them. Stop being a dumbass. It'll make life easier for all of us. But this isn't about the rich elites. This is about the goons right now. About how their goons are spending your taxpayer dollars to cover up their crimes. How these goons are using your taxpayer dollars to lie to you. How much money you think it spent, or how much money you think it cost to make that production. How many American taxpayer dollars were spent to make a commercial that's bullshit to improve public relations? Restricted Dick is calling again. And y'all want to pretend that this shit don't happen. Like I hallucinated it. Police have gone out of their way to do absolutely nothing about any of this. Now we've got this fiction here.
Put your hands 10 and 2 where I can see them. I'll be right back.
The difference between a bully getting away with it and an end to the bullying is whether or not you do something about it. Many of these people who I went to for help were being bullied, harassed, beaten incessantly. The reason that they loved me so much before Natalie died was because I was the difference between that bullying continuing and it stopping, because I fucking stepped in when nobody else would. Many of these people You can listen to our conversations on this YouTube. Many people admit that I saved their fucking lives, literally saved their lives. And some of these folks I don't even remember. Some of the people that messaged me, hey bro, remember me? You saved my life. No, I don't, but I saved a lot of lives. Now, in this right here, this police officer who was telling this police officer who was acting like we are all used to police officers treating us when we're poor, this younger officer with these glasses, he's going to call that bad officer over. And he's going to talk to that bad officer and say, hey, what you're doing is wrong. Did those officers, when that happened to Zaid Atkinson, did those officers do this? Did they say, hey, what you're doing is wrong? Or did they pull out their shit too? Did they get involved and gang up on that man too? How about Sammy Leon Lawrence IV? How about Michelle Rodriguez? How about myself? How about Elijah McClain? How about Demetrius Shankling? How about Tiber Hatay? Flamey typed, you even tried DMT, bro. Flamey, I have no idea what you're doing here. I can't tell if you're being a troll or if you're... Well, really what you're doing is being a bitch. You've got a defeatist attitude and you want to fucking drop that shit on me. All of these people making excuses not to even try when they say they can't. They haven't even tried. When I say I haven't, I have tried. I've tried fucking hard. Flamey typed, ha ha ha. I'm trying to see if you legit. Well, I don't care if you think I'm legit or not. That don't make two goddamn bits of difference to me until you start threatening my life, harassing me, or putting your nasty cockbeaters on me. You start threatening my friends and family, and yeah, I'm gonna fucking hunt your name down. And I'm gonna post it up for God, the world, and everybody. Flamey types, you seem so angry. I am angry. Who wouldn't be angry at this situation? He types, I'm not threatening your life, WTF. That stands for what the fuck. Well, see, that's the thing, is that you're trying to feel me out, and I'm trying to feel you out. And that ain't exactly easy to do. You're typing, especially when there's a lot of ha-has and a lot of sarcasm. He types, I'm Australian, dude. Very cool. Oh, itchy beard. The three places that I always wanted to go in my lifetime that aren't the United States of America. I always wanted to go to Japan, I always wanted to go to Brazil, and I always wanted to go to Australia. There's a woman who used to live here in Chapel, Nebraska I went to school with. Her name's Amanda Green. She married an Australian and she lives in Australia. Always a pretty nice lady. Of course, her last name is probably not Green anymore since she is married. Flamey types, you need a cold beer and to watch the world burn. I quit drinking, bud. I don't drink for a reason. I had to choose between my loved ones and my alcohol. I made the wrong choice. My loved ones between their drugs or alcohol and myself chose their drugs and alcohol 100% of the time. Flamey typed, Aussies are the biggest alcoholics, haha. Yeah, here in the United States, When we talk about getting pissed, we're talking about getting pissed off or angry. In Australia, and I learned this a few years ago, some guys were talking about wanting to go to the bar and get pissed. What? You're going to go down to the bar and get angry and start trying to start a fight? Is that what you're trying to say? No. Where we're from, that means get drunk. Okay, cool. That's another topic that I've spoken about frequently. Regional dialects and regional slang. A lot of the words that I say, I do recognize that people who are not from the United States or are not from specific regions or don't understand the slang or dialect of, well, autism. There's a lot of slang that if I say it, you guys are completely lost. Slang like neurotypicals. What's a neurotypical? That's those of you that are not autistic, or not neurodiverse, I should say. Because neurodiversity does not just cover autistic people. There's a lot of people who do think differently. Would you like me to continue to talk in my robot voice for you? Play me types. Yeah, man. And then this part says this message is held for review. It says most Australians just get pissed and forget about how the shit the world is. LOL. Yeah, that's what Americans do too. Between doing something about it and getting drunk, you show you're a coward with no fortitude whatsoever by getting drunk and judging others and complaining when you get judged back. Alcohol is an important tool for controlling the stupid. Religion is an important tool for controlling the stupid. These are facts. That's not opinions. These are straight up facts. You want to get some stupid people to kill some people for you? In the name of Jesus. Praise the Lord. Fire and brimstone. You want to bring me arguments about Jesus? Well, I want you to hurt people, so I'm going to go back to the Old Testament. Blamey types. Yeah, we aren't as lucky as Americans. We lost our guns. It's bullshit. Not all Americans are that lucky either. They call you mentally ill, you're not allowed to have a firearm. If you have a protection order against you, you're not allowed to have a firearm. If you've been in a mental institution, you cannot have a firearm. If you have taken psychotropics, you cannot have a firearm. See, that's the easiest way for a predator to guarantee that they can harm their victim anytime they want. Try to get something on that list. Try to force that on them. You do that, they can't have a firearm. It doesn't matter if they're guilty or not. Between you and your friends, I am sure that you can find a way to prevent that man from going to court. I'm sure there's a way you can prevent him from going to court. And I'm sure that if you're a pretty girly, that the cops will fucking help you. Natalie Bollinger played victim because she was embarrassed. But as a result of her playing victim, I was actually victimized. And the victimization continued because she never told the truth. And all of these people that I went to for help, They never told the truth. Or at least not where it mattered. I'm allowed to be angry at all of these people because all of them I'm angry at for the same fucking reason. Because you look away because the abuse isn't happening to you. You make excuses because the abuse isn't happening to you. Let's see. Blamey typed, yeah, well, oh wait. One thing, how much are cigarettes there? A pack of 20 is $38 over here. No one cares about men, dude. We are nothing. And you're right. We're the scapegoats. If a woman is strung out on methamphetamines and decides that she wants your penis and you decide that she's annoying and you reject her, there's nothing to stop her and all of the people that she does drugs with from destroying your life. There's nothing to stop her from getting fucked up out of her goddamn mind and coming into your work and screaming and hooting and hollering. Just because I don't have any rights doesn't mean I'm not going to fight for them. Just because most of the people in this town are drunk because they are too big of cowards to do anything about it. All they do is complain about others, complain about how it's everybody else's fault. They just complain. They take no steps to change it. People like me, who do take steps and measures to change it, are victimized incessantly, which is the reason that these people drink themselves to the bottom of a bottle. Most of these people have made an effort to try to do something alone. The predators are working together, and all of these people, they get disheartened. Man, when this shit happened to me, Sean, let me tell you what, everybody that I knew threw me away. Everybody that I knew who called me friend. Everybody. These people who said, hey man, I'll help you out, they stole my things. They stole my money. They busted my vehicle. Their son went on a fucking rampage with my vehicle. They never bothered to pay me back. And I get to hear a lot of these fucking stories. A lot of the people who got a hold of me after Natalie died were drug addicts who wanted to tell me about their abusers. Your drug addiction is no different than alcohol or those pill poppers. It's an addiction just like any other. It is a chemical addiction just like the others. Blamey types, here if you are looking for help, there is fucking nothing. But if you have a pussy, you get loads of help. Well, you said that quite vulgar, but sadly, I get the feeling you're telling the truth. It's like that here. There are 14 services in Boulder just for women for every one service that is co-ed. Women get lots of help because we run around pretending that women are helpless. Women are not fucking helpless. Women have more tools at their disposal because of public opinions like that. Public opinions that are wrong. In just the past few years, we've had over 200 females in teaching positions arrested for having sex with students. And you still want to pretend that women cannot be the predators. Women cannot be child molesters. There are women that I know who are child molesters. Rebecca Klang molested her own sister, Rachel. You type, if you have a pussy, you get loads of help. And I usually say, if you're a female. But upon occasion, when I feel like being almost vulgar about it, when I am pissed off, I'll say vagina. My dad, when I needed his help, was too busy treating me like shit. Meanwhile, he should have fucking come forward an entire year earlier. But he didn't fucking care. He was fine with people harming me. And my dad, when I bring up the fact that I was abused all growing up because him and mom couldn't stay off the cocaine, he says, don't bring up the past. But then he wants to bring up the fact that I was in an institution and treat me like shit for that. Motherfucker, I was in that institution because you were fucking beating on me. I told on you, and I'm the one who got in fucking trouble, Dad. I got in trouble because you fucking got drunk and fucking beat on me. And then you want to bring that situation up that happened over 20 years ago and pretend like I'm the fucking bad guy. No, Dad, you're the fucking bad guy. You are the one who chose cocaine over your kids. You're the one who chose to look away every time your offspring were abused. No matter where they were abused, you looked away. You look at those cop propaganda videos. That's the difference between the videos of police brutality and the videos of police pretending to be nice guys with a production crew. You know what? These cops didn't just spend that money to have those people make this fake ass production for them. They also spent your money to have it advertised on Facebook and YouTube. Blamey types, the American police are shit. You're right. Blamey types, we don't have that kind of shit here. You're lucky. Here in America, we need guns because we got shit police. That is specifically what the Second Amendment is for. It's so that we can fight back against an unjust government. But if your cops are all right, basically you only need firearms for home protection. And there's plenty of shit that you can use that's better than a gun. It's not a joke. Mm. Mm. That was weird. I couldn't swallow it. Police over there seem to shoot first, ask questions later. You're right, they do. A lot of these cops, the reason they joined the police force is because they wanted to shoot somebody. But it's not as simple as just going, oh, he's a perp, pulling out your gun and shooting him. You got to create the right scenario. And you have to pick the right victim. And you have to try over and over and over again in order to create the perfect scenario where it's okay for you to shoot somebody. Like, you can't just go to a rich person's house and shoot one of them. They'll sue you, and you'll go to prison. You got to pick somebody who doesn't have any power or influence. You got to pick somebody nobody cares about, like a prostitute or a homeless person or a mentally ill person. Then you can get away with it. The other thing is you got to make sure that there's no cameras when you do your victimization. If there is cameras, well, you got to try to figure out a narrative, because most of the cameras that are security cameras do not record audio. That's why we got to depend on police to have the audio on their body cameras. And the police, the narrative that they tried to sell in that situation with Waylon Lolatai, their body cameras proved that that wasn't true. And that's the reason that they denied me the right to that. That's the reason that they pretended that those body cameras didn't exist. But later on, when I tried to turn those officers in to Officer Gerhardt, and Officer Gerhardt pulled a bunch of goddamn bullshit. By the way, I'm familiar with Officer Gerhardt. He's responsible for covering up the death of my friend Danny. The cops knew that Danny was not breathing and unresponsive behind the pedestrian shop in Boulder, Colorado. That was at 6 o'clock in the morning. I found Danny dead at 10 o'clock in the morning, at least 4 hours after they got that telephone call. Hundreds of people walking past his corpse. His pants down to his fucking knees, his pockets outturned. I gotta go to my fucking predators to ask for help. I have to go to an officer who covered up for the crimes of his fellow officers and the death of somebody that I loved and cared about very much. Danny was good to a lot of us, but he didn't fucking matter. The police officer then has to instigate you before he can shoot you. And he has to make sure that it's his word versus yours. If he's going to make it his word versus yours, he's got to make sure that there's no witnesses around. That's not easy to do. Most homeless people hang out in groups for safety in numbers. But it's easier to find a homeless person to victimize than it is to find a prostitute. It's also a lot easier to get away with it. I mean, when you got a prostitute at a truck stop who's been known to frequent that area for a few weeks and then she disappears, people take notice. And she's a female, so people might actually do something about it. But if it's a female who's homeless, I mean, fuck, they get lost in the crowd. They move around all the fucking time. There are people that I was told were dead that 10 years later come out of the woodwork live could be. There are other people that I was told were in this place or that place or wherever they had moved on to, and it turned out that they'd been dead for years. The police tried to pretend like there was some sort of big emergency, and the reason that they lied and broke the law the way that they did is because they were afraid that I was going to slip back into anonymity in the homeless community. Motherfuckers, your fucking body cameras show that that's not the situation. The body cameras of every single officer that I spoke with need to be requisitioned. Look at how many times they broke the law and look at how many times they turned off their body cameras. The incident happened. They admitted the incident happened. They wrote up their own fiction about what happened and were allowed to get away with it because they turned off their body cameras. They pretend that the things that I have been trying to explain on Facebook and on YouTube for years, they pretend that I didn't tell them any of that stuff. They literally omitted every single piece of evidence. Every single thing that I said about the Predators, about the Bollingers, about the fucking head games that they're pulling. The police did everything that they could because they felt sorry for my predators. They refused to believe at any point in time, because I have a penis, that I could be the victim. The most victimized people in America are the disabled and the homeless. And you pretend that I couldn't possibly be victimized for being disabled or homeless because it's against the law. Who cares about the law when you can turn off your body camera? You tell me not to be angry. With all due respect, fuck you. I have literally hundreds of people that I love who are fucking corpses right now because you make fucking excuses. People get angry because their kind of beer isn't there, or because they want to drink whiskey instead of wine, or because their sister is wearing their shoes. Or because they can't afford the purse that they want. Or they get jealous because the guy that they want is talking to somebody else. That's what you guys get pissed off about. You get pissed off because somebody called you a name when you did evil shit to them. That's what you get pissed off about. That's what you're angry about. I'm angry about real fucking problems. I'm angry about hundreds of dead loved ones. I am angry about human beings being treated like animals by human beings who are animals. I'm angry about being repeatedly assaulted. I'm angry about having my things stolen from me repeatedly. I'm angry about the fact that the only people that I could go to for help who would actually do anything are alcoholics and meth addicts who didn't do a whole hell of a lot. I'm fighting against evil. Straight up. Evil works harder than you cowards who are down in the bottom of a goddamn bottle, judging others as if you are perfect. Get pissed.